Good afternoon. This afternoon we have a guest speaker who is going to talk to us about mold and how we can get rid of mold. And it's Mr. Fred Williamson from Florence. So Fred, it's all yours.
Thank you, Liz. I want to thank everybody from AgentOwned Realty in the whole state of South Carolina that's tuned in, and I want to let you know that I'm very honored to be a part of your monthly webinar. What I wanted to do today, the theme is mold warning signs or either how to get rid of mold, and I want to go through that with you. Let me go ahead and show you the first slide, and we'll continue on. At the end of this, and while I'm presenting it, you can go ahead and email in some questions, and I will be certain to answer those. Okay, let's go ahead and start.
Excuse me, just type them in, guys. Okay, thank you. Fred, we've lost your sound.
Well, I'm trying to move the page. It's
okay, there you go. Just hit enter.
I did. It's not moving it.
Okay, now do it.
Okay.
It should. If you hit enter, it should go.
Mm-hmm. It certainly should. Let me go ahead and try another method.
Or just click your mouse.
I am. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Mold warning signs. How do I know I have it? Well, as we all know, when you walk into a home, we're very much attuned to a smell. It's almost a natural thing. If you have a strange odor, it's probably a pungent, musty smell. It's a strong indicator to you and your client that you may have a mold issue. The appearance of mold. You can actually see mold growth. It could be circles of black and other colors, or large patch as well of mold. And there's three types of states that mold are in. The first would be an active mold. That's where your mold colonies that are growing are active. They have a food source and there's enough moisture present to keep it growing. The second is a dormant mold. When the water source dries up, mold colonies, they just don't die. They just wait around for more water to keep it growing again. And dead mold. That's when the mold spores have been severed and the colony is killed. And then AIT does this well. We can move over. You can control mold growth. There are several ways that we can watch out and control mold in a home or a building. First one is keeping humidity levels between 35 and 55%. What you do with that, of course, you'll got to be sure that your HVAC is running well and pulling the humidity out. If this is not sufficient, most commonly we can have an inline dehumidifier put in your HVAC, and this will pull a lot of the moisture out. In extreme cases where you have some homes where basement areas, a part of it is below ground quite a bit, you'll see that you may have to put a regular dehumidifier in those rooms or areas such as a basement, and they'll continually draw water out, sometimes as much as a gallon or two a day. The second way you can stop some of the mold growth is to fix your leaky roofs, windows, and pipes. Water and moisture is the sole source for mold to grow. So we want to make sure that we take care of all the leaks. And you also, if you have any flooding in from a laundry room or anywhere in the house or just from a natural disaster, you want to make sure you clean and dry very well. You need to do this within 48 hours because mold will begin to grow after flooding very quickly after that, definitely after 48 hours. If you got rugs, you want to try to, if you're able to get them up, you want to go ahead and roll them up and let them dry up under and do the best you can with that. Most probably after a flooding and you have rugs, you may just have to remove them. Now, the next big problem area that I run into when I go around and assessing buildings and all is ventilating shower, laundry, and cooking areas. Most homes are just not well ventilated. You got to be sure that the laundry rooms, the bathrooms, and the cooking areas have a working fan for ventilation that is directed outside the home. Some homes just have air filters above the stove, and it doesn't really pull out any humidity. So that can be a problem area. And why is mold getting so much attention? Well, I tell you, in the last 20 years, it has really got out of control. The media hype they've latched hold of the mold as being harmful. And thanks to the media, many people are not knowing the types of mold, even the full effects of mold, but they know that the mold in a home is bad for them. So that becomes a problem. The next one, mold lawsuits. I'm running into that all over the state, whether it be in the colleges that I do, the municipalities, the counties, military bases, mostly in the counties and the colleges. We're having a lot of lawsuits. I think there's about 7 colleges with ongoing right now and 3 counties that I'm aware of. What happens is you can have a negligent lawsuit claim against you. It can start with your landlord or property managers, because some of you guys may have a dual job as that. I'm not sure in this company. The person or realtor that sold you the home, they can be part of the lawsuit if they knew about the mold and did not disclose it. So don't hide it if you know about it. What you want to do is, of course, remediate it and take care of it. The contractors that built your home are accountable. I think in South Carolina it's about a 10-year rule, but it's still there. There's suppliers and manufacturers of defective building material. That comes into play as part of a lawsuit. And then there's more symptoms being attributed to mold by physicians. More people are spending more time in their homes, such as the elderly and the children. The children are just not going out as much as they used to. Unfortunately, that's what happens with the new advent of the games and such. Therefore, they pick up a lot more various allergenic symptoms from mold in their home. You need to keep in mind that there's a mycotoxin that coats a mold spore. And that mycotoxin actually is responsible for all your allergenic, pathogenic, and toxigenic effects. And basically, mold spores have compounds on them that cause us allergies, makes us sick, or poisons us. So the doctors are more acutely aware of that now. They're bringing it up. And, of course, they'll go right back and try to take care of it. The homeowner will. Increased number of homes not selling with mold issues. Well, we had a little bit of that when I was working in the mortgage business, and it's still prevalent today more and more, because the way these homes are built now, they're more airtight, and you'll find that when you get some water in them or liquid in them, it's because the moisture becomes more trapped, permitting mold to grow and making people sick that inhale it. So you must realize that the way these houses are built now are causing a lot of the mold problems, or is definitely a contributor to it. Places mold will grow in your home. These are some places you need to look for. Mold grows well on paper products, and it does, cardboard, ceiling tiles, and wood products. Mold can also grow in dust. Remember, if your house is dusty, we may have to get to work and get rid of that dust. I know my wife is on it all the time here. Paints and wallpaper. The glue on the wallpaper is a great feeding ground for mold. I find that quite often. Insulation, drywall, carpet, fabric, and upholstery, all of it are places mold will grow in a home. And basically, if there's water to feed on, mold will grow just about in anything in a house. Now, since we've already covered that, I want to tell you a little bit about our company, and I'll run through that with you. We're primarily a service company, and we make sure that we can bring your house back to a normal fungal ecology or a normal state where breathing is not a problem. Our parent company is AI Thomas. We're doing business as AIT Environmental. We're licensed in Florida, Georgia, North, and South Carolina. We're licensed as mold assessment and remediation services. We go in and take the test We'll do a write-up for you. And of course, we can go in with our patented chemical that we have, and we can take care of it. Our product is BENZYL Phenol IAQ. No one else can get a hold of it. We're the only distributor of it, and that's a distributor to us from our parent company. No one else can buy any of it. The cruise lines, Mercury Cruise Lines, with all those problems breaking out with norovirus, and was trying to get it from us, and we just wouldn't sell it, but we would do the service. AIT is the sole source, and we are from the manufacturer. We've set that up, and we're the only people who can get it. We have a patented method on file on how we decontaminate indoor environments. We actually go in and fog the environment. I've done it quite a few times, and it's very effective. It'll get in and behind everything. Wipe down cannot come close to it. It will not work. Now, we're actually, BENZYL Phenol IRQ is an EPA registered antimicrobial fungicide. And we've done a lot of testing with EPA over the last, with their labs, using their methodology. And let me tell you, it took a year and a half to run some expensive tests. And this is something the other chemicals don't have. They don't kill all the forms of mold. We do, because we kill the mold, the colony, and we kill the root system. The other ones do not. The Clorox absolutely does not. And over 70 bacteria and viruses are done. I just took care of 2 MRSA outbreaks, both in Spartanburg, one with the county and one with the college. So it was very helpful there. Our chemical, when we fog it, it actually kills. You get a 2-fold punch. You not only get all the mold killed, you get all the bacteria and viruses killed on contact. It disinfects everything it touches, including carpets and furniture. And it will not stain anything in your house. It's tremendous. Now, the HVAC system receives disinfecting benefits. We actually go in and do some on your registers and all. We actually fog in there a little extra too, to be sure that all your ventilation systems, all your ductwork is killed and free of mold and the spores. And of course the bacteria, which is great. We saved Charleston Air Force Base several tear-outs of buildings of HVAC systems because the ductworks were just totally in trouble with mold and bacteria. So they give us all their business. Now, dries quickly. Dries quickly means between 7 and 15 minutes. You can go back into your home or building in 2 hours or less. The smell would have gone away and dissipated. Now, AIT is specialized in the fact that our trained technicians are trained in assessment, in the actual fogging, and all the OSHA guidelines. And we're always prepared and ready with our MSDS forms and everything and all our equipment in case OSHA comes by. You never know. And we use a directional fogger. It's like a handheld vacuum cleaner that we can actually control how fast it comes out. We can break it down to 5 microns, where it's like a rolling light fogging mist. It'll fog a room completely in a very short period of time. So it gets in and behind everything. And also, we're very acutely aware of the times that we're able to go into a building and not disturb the working environment. Not only homes, but buildings and all. If they're going to be working during the day, we're going to do it at night. We're going to do it on weekends, and we work on the holidays. Now, the application process, one thing that industrial hygienists like about us, specifically, that we use our HEPA filtered vacuum service, and we catch the furniture, the drapes, some of the walls. After we have killed the spores, they'll start dropping. The dead spores can still cause a problem for a short period of time, that those people are very hypoallergenic to mold spores. So, of course, we want those out of there. And we'll even put the HEPA filters in your HVAC system in some cases where it's very bad, to help pull it, to filter it out as well. We do attics, we do ceilings, and we do crawl spaces. The ceiling areas on some of the buildings have the false ceilings. We call them plenum. It's the space up above them. We decontaminate them and we wipe down any mold, visible mold up there, and the fogging kills it all. And we do a complete wipe down service. So we've had a lot of people hold us to that, and we actually do it. Application, it's very simple, guys. We simply we use a 256-to-1 ratio with it, and everything's tested with that ratio, and it's the most effective thing in the market. It kills mold by severing the spore cells, where the other chemicals wipe away, or they try to do it, but they just can't do it as well. And they definitely don't destroy the colony root system. A root system can go out 12, 15, 20 feet on a wall trying to find the next hot spot of high moisture water. So if you try to wipe off one spot, you're not catching the root system. It'll continue to come up. Dead spores are then removed, as I said, with a combination of wipe down and Hepabac. We do have a 1-year mold treatment guarantee. No one in the industry does that. We're the only one. I've done my homework. If you have any water intrusion that comes in, a busted pipe, roof leaks, excuse me, anything along those lines with water incoming, just get it fixed first, call us, and we'll refog and treat before the 48 hours is over. We want to make sure that we get in there and get that done. We schedule facility health checks. When we do a home, we can come in after 6 months and recheck it again, not a problem, because our chemical does continue to do work for a while, and we haven't had any reoccurrences under normal conditions yet to go back on, only when you have a water problem. And these additional treatments, if you have a water intrusion, is at no additional cost. When you pay the first time, that's it. So, of course, there's quite a risk for us, and that's why no one wants to do it, but we do it. Now, we specialize in scheduled maintenance treatments. You may have a house that's in a bad area, a low area, that we can kill all the mold, but it's going to seep through like a lot of old brick houses or cinder block buildings would do. And if it continues to have moisture problems that you can't quite control it well, we can come in a protocol of maintenance treatments. Come in, let's say, every 2 months, or every 3 months, or every 4 months, and we'll price it. It won't be much at all of an increase. In some cases, very little, and we'll make sure that we can keep that mold down. Now, and again, we come in for health checks and assessments periodically with buildings based on the need or how apt the building is to continue to have mold problems. And when we do our sampling service with the assessment, we do the air and the tape strip and the swab and the cultures if need be. And we use a local EMSL lab service that is independent, EPA approved. There's one in Charleston, I believe. There's one, I believe, out in North Carolina we use on occasion. We get it back no later than 72 hours. We can get it in 2 or 3 hours, but it'll cost more, but we get it back. Emergency response. We can hit any place in South Carolina within 24 hours. So we can definitely take care of that. Library services, we go in and wipe down the cloth books that have mold on. We wipe everything down. A lot of work wiping those books, but that's part of our service. And everything else is done normally. Wall cavity treatments, if a person just has that strong feeling that and doesn't realize and understand that when you have mold encapsulated behind a wall, it's not coming out unless someone knocks a hole in it, or even sometimes through small holes in the wall, such as your receptacles and all. But it is encapsulated. But we do have a way to go in from the top up above and drill some holes and take care of it every 16 inches on center or 24 inches on center, whatever, however the house or home is built. We can go in and fog that and take care of it. It's just not needed because your mold is going from the air inside onto the outside of the wall, and gypsum is part of what most of the drywall is made of. Mold will not penetrate from the inside through the gypsum. We had some Chinese drywall that didn't have anything much, and mold came right on through it. That's where you heard a lot about that. But I wouldn't worry about the cavity too much, but if you want it done, we can do it. I think we're about the only ones that do that now, because everybody else wants to rip and tear it out. We do not have to rip and tear out drywall unless it's totally water compromised. Now here's some of our affiliations. I know you can look at these and know that actually we have more. I'm involved in a lot, especially local ones, associations I'm involved with all over the state. I think the big one that will catch your eye is Association of Housing and Redevelopment Managers. We're involved with them. Why do you want to use this? Well, I'll tell you what, we're tested and proven. I've got 14 key references that I send out with phone numbers and emails to people that want them to check us out, and it works quite well. And we want to make sure that you maintain your facility. That's why you use this. You don't have to shut down for a week while they go in there and use negative air and all this. Some of this stuff is not required. Some of it may be. And just shut everything down. We don't do that. We don't tear out and replace your drywall. It saves thousands of dollars. You do not have to do it with this chemical that we own, BENZYL, PHENOL, IQ, unless, of course, as I said before, it's water compromised. Then that drywall it can be in such a way that the mold can come through it. Plus, you don't want wet drywall up anyway. You want to cut that one portion out. Now, we eliminate the cost to move or replace furniture like we do in all the dorms. They were throwing them out. Now we'll fog it. We'll clean it. It's mold-free. Unless there's extreme heavy stains on it over and above mold, you want to keep your furniture. Don't throw it away. It's a waste of money. And that's pretty much it.
Excuse me. There's one question, Fred.
Go ahead.
How much does a mold assessment cost?
Well, that's a good question, Liz. We've just formulated a cost comparison with competitors out there that does assessment in South Carolina. The qualified licensed assessors, the ones that will keep you out of trouble if you ever have to go to court, and God forbid we don't ever do that. They're charging anywhere from $1,000 to $1,600. What we do with our assessment, we'll actually go in, walk through, do the write-up of every possible problem area and what to do to fix it. And we'll also take all your samples, up to 6 of them, inside, let's say, because we're dealing with more homes right now. We'll take up to 6 on a large home, and we'll do an outside baseline test. All of that is $600, and just the assessment only without the testing is $1,000 to $1,500. But we do the testing and all with it, put together with a small package for $600. As I mentioned before, Liz, I think that sometimes you want to be careful if you want to do a test before when you see active mold. You don't have to do that. You see the active mold, you just need to get AIT Environmental Technology come in there and get rid of it. And then we'll take tests afterwards, which is our QC, quality control test that we have to have on file, which are done from the local EMSL labs, the same testing and results. We'll give you a copy of it so you can put in your file in the future. But anytime we do all the assessments, you have something on file that's going to become a public record. That's a good thing. And in some strategic situations, it might not be a good thing. Okay, Liz, any other questions?
Yeah, Fred, I was talking to you before we started.
Yeah.
When you go in and you just take care of the mold without doing the assessment, you, of course, would go in first and tell people what it would cost them to get rid of the mold.
That's right. We'll give them an estimate. I do in most cases, I do what we call a proposal, and I do those for South Carolina. It's a one-page, what's going to be done, and all that, and what it would cost, and then but the assessment isn't a proper assessment there. Assessment is not only finds your problems, it tells you how to fix them. Right,
but that point, and you do the proposals for free.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. I don't charge anybody for a proposal.
Well, I just want to make it clear to everybody, because this is like, to me, especially in some areas, there's a lot of mold. So this would be a great tool for people, I think.
It is along the coastline areas. Again, I want to make note that I do a lot up northern part of the state, excuse me, I guess it'd be western part of the state, up around Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, all along the 78 Belt Road going through Aiken, Denmark, Columbia, a ton of work in colleges, so, and then all this way. So I'm all over the state, and we can go anywhere in the state. If you want to sell a house as a realtor up in Clemson, town of Clemson up there, we'll go take care of it. It doesn't bother us.
There's another question. Do you have
Okay.
any affiliations with real estate companies where they recommend you exclusively?
Actually, I do one. I have one right now. It's what do you call it? It's down at the beach. I'm trying to think if you caught me right off guard. It's called Realtor Pro. Let me see if I can find it. Would you give me just a moment? I'll try to hurry.
Okay, so I think the question, yeah.
Well, the answer is yes. I do have it.
You do
I
have.
do have. I'm set up with one right now, and we would like to do that because we have all the qualifications.
Right.
I do have a GSA contract with the government, so we're the #1 in the state for that anyway with the government. So we'd love to work with the realtors as the one to go to, a go-to company for that.
Well, Fred, I don't see any other questions. I really appreciate you doing this. We all appreciate it, and you have a great day.
Well, I appreciate everybody listening.